Hello there, everyone. If you watched my previous video about helping the environment, you would know that my name is Chrissy. But if you didn't, and you don't know my name is Chrissy, now you know. You learn something new every day. But I just wanted to tell you about the day I had on Friday. It was a very interesting day because it was probably the most embarrassing day of my entire life. Basically what happened was, as I was walking up the stairs with my 32.5-pound backpack, yeah, I weighed that shit, and it said 32.5 pounds, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, I didn't know I could carry that much on my shoulder, but apparently I can, and I lug it around all day, up 3 flights of stairs like 5 times a day, but you know, it's good exercise, so I do it, and I don't feel like stopping at my locker because I'm too lazy. Anyway, as I'm carrying my 32.5 backpack up the stairs of my bus, I end up tripping, and you know how you just kind of, like, after you fall up the stairs or down the stairs or just fall period, you just kind of sit there for a minute and you're like registering that you just fell. Well, as I was doing that, apparently my shoe had flown off and my backpack fell off my shoulder, rolled down the steps and into the street. So I turn around afterwards and I'm like, crap, I just fell down the stairs, I gotta get my stuff and just get up and pretend that never happened. I turn around and then the guy behind me, that's at my bus stop, has my backpack and my shoe in his hand, hands it to me, and I'm like awkwardly thanking him as I put my shoe back on. I managed to get my backpack back on and stand up, and then my bus driver, we all call her Miss Kathy from Little Elementary School because she also drove the elementary school bus. So Miss Kathy is just like, "Are you okay, Chrissy?" And I'm like, "Just my pride." So as I walk down the aisle of shame, I see a ton of eyes on me, and I just feel so beyond embarrassed. Anyway, so I finally sit down, and I just kind of slump so far down in my seat that my head is below the window. So like people on the outside only see my neon blue jeans in that window, but no head. So that was probably awkward too. But anyway, on the ride to school there, I'm completely silent. And the next embarrassing thing that happens is, okay, so my backpack falls in between the seats on the bus, and I'm just like, I'll get it later. I'm too lazy to get it now. Plus, I'm sitting down, and it'd probably take too much effort to get it now. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, I'll get it when everyone's getting off the bus. And then all of a sudden, this guy who I don't know, sits right down next to me, and I'm just like, oh, like you didn't have 50 other sheets to, sheets. Yeah, because I love sheets. My bed sheets. Way off topic there, but like you don't have 50 other seats to choose from. Anyway, he sits down next to me. I assume it was to talk to his friends who just happened to be sitting next to me. I hope. So anyway, he sits down next to me, and I'm just like, oh, then I guess I'll get it whenever he gets off, because he's sitting like right where my backpack is. Like my backpack is between his knees. So as they're unloading, he gets off, and I'm like, and I stand up, and I'm like, okay, now I can get my backpack. So I reach down on the little handle of my backpack. No, I don't have it with me right now to show you. But I reach down for my little handle on my backpack, and I pull up, and I pick up the backpack a little bit until it gets stuck in between the seats. And I'm like, oh crap, no, my backpack is not stuck in between the seats. So I pull again, and it still doesn't budge. And so people are walking by as I like forcefully and violently tug on my backpack, trying to get it out from in between the seats. This girl Jenna in my neighborhood's just like, try pushing it into the aisle. And I thought that was a brilliant idea. So what I do is I just use my foot and try to push it out into the aisle in between the seats. But no, that doesn't work either. And so everyone else walks by, and I'm the last person off the bus, and I'm still trying to get my backpack out of my seat. And seriously, the bus is just sitting there holding up all the other buses as they're trying to unload their waiting kids to get to school, even though most of them are probably like, oh yeah, delay for school. Not really, but you know. But so eventually I get to the point where I seriously have to push my back up against the window and push my backpack out of the seat with my legs, and I have some serious leg power. Just putting that out there. Just put it like, I have some serious leg power, and it still won't budge. Like it gets to the point where it's into the, like, close to the aisle, but it's stuck in between the two poles of the seats. Like of the one that I was sitting at and the one in front of me, it's stuck in between those two poles. So I'm like, oh crap. So I just continue pushing, and I hear a crunching noise as it finally comes out and gets pushed into the aisle, and Miss Kathy is just sitting there looking at me, failing. So I finally get it out, and I heard a crunching noise. I'm like, oh crap, what broke? So anyway, I just pick up my backpack, continue on down the aisle, and walk into school. And nothing was really broken. I just kind of ripped my folder a little, but it was no big deal. And if I thought those two were embarrassing, oh my god, what happens next is probably more embarrassing than both of those combined. So what happens is, I'm on my way to first period, and I decide I'm thirsty. I'm probably going to get thirsty throughout the day. So, I pull out $2 out of my back pocket, put it into a vending machine that I found near my first period class, which is Japanese, and put it in, punch in whatever I want, which was iced tea, by the way. I love tea. And, it comes out, and you know those little, like, plastic flat things that you kind of have to put your hand through to grab your drink, and sometimes, like, you have a little bit of trouble getting it out, but you get it out? Well, yeah, so I reach in, grab it, and then I pull, but, like, my hand won't come out. My hand won't come out. So I just figure, oh, I just gotta push the flap up so my hand can come out like this. So I try to push the flap up, but what happens instead is it's stuck in place. So I'm like, oh, I'll just let go of the bottle, like squeeze my hand out, and then fix it. But no. As I let go of the bottle and try to pull, this hand is stuck in between the bottle and the flap, it is stuck in place, like it won't be pushed up or down or anything. And my hand is stuck in between the bottle of iced tea and the flap, and I'm like, oh crap. So I try leaning back, just pulling on my hand, and that's how I got this. I don't know if you can see that little mark. Maybe if I turn this off, you can probably see it a little better. That mark right there. Light back on. Okay. So that's how I got that mark, trying to pull it out. And then eventually I get to the point where I'm putting my feet up against the vending machine, trying to push with my legs my hand out of the vending machine. As I stated earlier, I have a lot of leg power, and that is also how I got that mark on my hand. And then I finally realized my hand is stuck in a vending machine in the middle of a hallway with a ton of people walking by, and I don't know who's walking by because my back is facing the hallway, so I don't know who's seeing me sitting there wallowing in self-pity as my hand is stuck inside a vending machine. Apparently, my friend Ryan, as I stated in my previous video, who invited me to his youth group, he had walked by and saw me with my hand stuck in a vending machine, but he didn't know it was me because my hair was up in this little weird bun thing that I do. So my hair was up apparently, and he didn't know who I was. So he just continued walking. I would have thought you would have even helped a random girl out of a vending machine, but okay, whatever. So anyway, as I'm sitting there with my hand stuck in a vending machine, hitting my head off of it, wallowing in my self-pity, I hear a ton of, oh my god, look at that girl, and like giggles, and then I'm like, oh, and then I hear a ton of like, oh, look at her. And I'm like, oh, well, if you feel pity for me, why not help me, maybe? I mean, that would be so convenient if you could just help a poor freshman get her hand out of a vending machine. But no, people don't do that. So I'm sitting there, and then I hear the bell ring, and I just continuously hit my head off the vending machine even harder than I already was, killing brain cells, probably not helping my stupidity at all. So, sorry, catch my breath. But, I'm sitting there, and the bell rings, and then I finally just stop, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, my hand is stuck in a vending machine. My hand is stuck in a vending machine, in a goddamn vending machine. And so I'm just sitting there in the hallway, really ticked, until finally a teacher walks by, and she's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, my hand is stuck in a vending machine. And she's like, how stuck? Like, she didn't believe me, and I'm like, so I do that leg thing where I try to pull it out with my legs, but it won't come out. And she's like, here, let me help you. And I'm like, okay, well, you're stuttering a lot. That's not actually what happened, but So she tries to help me. She pulls on this arm that's not stuck in a vending machine, and it doesn't budge. She's like, here, let me go get a janitor. And so she goes to get the janitor, and she comes, leaves me, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bored. I'm so, I can't even. So she comes back with the janitor, and you'd think that he'd have some tools or like a key to the vending machine to like open up the vending machine to get my hand out or like fix the flap or something. But no, what he does is he sits down behind me with his little crotch area right all up in my butt. Okay, not going there. But he sits down behind me and wraps his arms like around my waist and just kind of like leans back and jerks backwards trying to pull my hand out, and we both do that leg thing where we're pushing on the vending machine and leaning backwards trying to get my hand out, and then the teacher lady grabs this arm that's not stuck in a vending machine and starts pulling it. Yeah, you can see like my arm jiggling there. And starts pulling on it, and I just feel like some sort of rag doll stuck in like I don't know what rag dolls get stuck in. I just feel like a rag doll being pulled on, and that's how I got this little bruise right here. That's how I got this little bruise right here, if you can see it. Setting 1, setting 2, setting 3. There we go. So, and that's how I got that bruise. And so it finally gets out. The teacher writes me a note. The janitor leaves, and I go to my first period of class, Japanese. And Balsamico Sensei is just like, Chrissy-san, why are you so late? And then I hand him the note, and I have to state in front of the entire class and my teacher why I'm late. And I'm just like, I got my hand stuck in a vending machine. And he just doubles over laughing, and like the rest of the class is like pounding their heads off their desk and doing those knee slap things where they're laughing, and I'm like, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life. Anyway, so they finally stop laughing, and I get in my seat and continue on with class. And I explained my story to the friend sitting behind me. Anywho, then the next embarrassing thing that happened is I get off the bus, and then I wait in the cemetery across my street for my other friend who gets out of school later than I do, as I stated in my previous video, my little 8th grade friends. So I wait for her and then walk her home and then walk myself home. So I waited for her, walked her home, and we had a little chit chat about my embarrassing day. And then as I'm walking home, halfway down her street, I decide to start skipping. No apparent reason. I'm just really happy that day for some odd reason, even though it was probably the worst day of my life. I just start skipping on down the road. So as I'm skipping, and I skip around the corner of Christie's Market. Yeah, I have a market up the corner, like up the street, which is really convenient. But it's like barely open anymore because now it only really does catering, which is really annoying. Okay, that's not the point. We get way off topic. I procrastinate a lot. I'm going to be making a video about that one. I wrote the book on procrastination. But anywho, off topic. As I'm skipping around the corner of Christie's Market, I noticed 2 boys stop dead in their tracks, and they probably go to my high school, I don't know. But 2 boys randomly stopped dead in their tracks as they watched me skip along, and I figured if I stop skipping and start walking and turn my head away, that would just be really awkward and I would seem like a total freak. So I continue skipping along, and I just flash them a thumbs up and smile really big like a really awkward derp, and continue skipping on down the road. And I don't know what they did afterwards because I didn't look back because I really didn't want to because I was so embarrassed. So basically, that was the most embarrassing day of my life. Now, I know a lot of you probably have had more embarrassing things than that. I remember on the first day of school, I fell down the same flight of steps twice in a row. Like, I fell half the way down, got back up, and then fell the rest of the way down. And I just kind of stood up and I was like, hope you enjoyed the show. See you next fall. And everyone laughed. But that's not really the point. Well, I guess it is, but whatever. So if you've had any embarrassing things ever happen to you and you think it's worse than mine or not as bad as mine or whatever, if you think it was embarrassing, please leave a comment below because I want to know. I don't want to feel as bad. I don't want to feel like I'm the only one who just has totally embarrassing days like that. Or even leave a video response. That would be awesome. So, yeah. We all have embarrassing days, or hopefully I'm not the only one. So, I am looking forward to your comments and replies and stuff. Please leave some below. I love you all. Bye. I hope you had a wonderful day, a better one than I did.